Listen, man. Sha, you was there, right?
Sir.
We was having this conversation, bro. And Sha said something that resonated so loudly, I had to buy new headphones. So, pandering. How do we define pandering, first and foremost? What is considered pandering? How do we define pandering? Anybody want to take a stab at it? You know what I mean?
Let the king content creator tell us. Miss Fantastic. Tell us what pandering is, man.
Well, pandering would be capitulating to any group and telling them the things that they want to hear, versus telling them the truth. Going against clear as day, common sense, facts, to support emotions, egos, all those different things. And sometimes there is quite the financial gain from it. So it's a win-win on both sides as to where you have public acceptance and admiration, along with you're rewarded for telling the people what they want to hear monetarily.
Good
I
stuff.
think
That
that
is
I
great.
think that I
That
think
is
that's
Good
great.
stuff, man. That's really amazing. Can you get like a brother or something for that? That's pretty good. That's pretty good,
That
man.
is great.
Pretty good.
That is
That was
great.
great. That was
You,
good.
Sha, you want to lay this out? Or you want me to lay it out?
You do a better job. I think I go out. You do a better job.
This is
Lay it out.
fantastic.
I fill in the gaps.
So he says something that I was thinking, like, God damn. Panderer would say shit like, black women is God, right? She left because he did something wrong. The problem is the men. Someone hurt her in her past. Also, black women run relationships. Black women control access to sex. Men acquiesce and kowtow to get access to pussy. Ain't that all the same shit? When you tell people your weaknesses, what happens? If you notice, when people are in camp for boxing, they never show sparring footage because you never give your opponents the game. So we've been on the internet telling them they in charge. They set the dating market. Whatever they ask for, they can receive. The worst behavior they have, if they the prettier they are, the worse behavior they can have, and will do just about anything for pussy. You done gave them your playbook. You done gave them your game film. You done gave them every single tape that they can possibly study to empower them to act how they want. We tried to tell them, yo, sex is just that. It adds no value. And then in the next breath, we'll say men cannot control their want and desire for sex. So now they know all of it and they use it to their advantage. Sound like pandering to me, bro.
Yeah. It was a very interesting conversation. Shout out to 2K. I don't know if you're around. They were trying to tell me that, I think it was CJ2, shout out to Turn AC, that the average woman got 10 men at her beck and call, ready to serve her whenever she needs them to. One buys food, one pays a bill, one's for vacation, one's for good sex. And my point was, what the fuck are y'all talking about? The average woman is at home trying to figure it out. Her inbox is dry. She might got an ex that's trying to get with her because he can't find nobody new either. It might be a dude trying to smash. And they called me a panderer for saying that that's the reality of the average woman. That was kind of partially how we got here to this point to have this discussion. It doesn't make sense. I've been saying this since I came around. it feels like the upside down often hearing these conversations. In one conversation, I don't want to get into all the crazy logic right quick. We'll stay on the pandering part. What's interesting is this kind of makes I'm a little disappointed in Fantastic not having my back, right? Because he actually agreed with me. My introduction to the space, or my what got me the title Simp and Panel, because I came up and said, "Hey, Miss Fantastic, this in study that you using to make your point about black women, you're not using the information correctly. You're overstating what the data says." And eventually, once Miss Fantastic understood what I said, he said, "All right, Sean, I got you. I agree with you." Now he didn't say it loud enough for the people that he pandered to, and I'm gonna say it because your definition, by definition, what you said, it's a lot of it going around everywhere, right? But he didn't, do me a solid and come out and say, "Hey, man, nah, Shaw went wrong. I understood what he was saying. He works in public health. He deals with numbers and statistics. He just wanted to make sure when I was delivering the information, I delivered it correctly." He allowed me to get hung in a public square. Pause. I didn't appreciate that. But that's where it started. Yeah, it happened. Because you actually agree with Miss Fantastic, but you said, you whispered it. They didn't hear you when you said it. You was like, "You're right, Sean." They didn't hear it.
Yeah, it's hard for me to whisper on this motherfucker, man. I don't know, bro.
I know, nigga.
Yeah, but nah, man. I corrected my speech.
You did.
And it was not that 50% of black women have herpes. Of the women that have herpes, 50 black women represent 50% of them.
Yeah.
Okay, I fixed it. Right.
In the study,
I put
nigga.
the proper,
Say that part.
I put the proper context on there by the information that was provided by Brother Shad. Okay. All right. Okay. Back when I was calling him Shad. Okay.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right. Yep.
So yeah. So see, yeah. So I'm publicly making the statement that the Brother Shad was correct in having me correct my delivery of the information, because saying that 50% of black women had herpes is inaccurate. It would be of the women, all women of all races that have herpes, 50% of them happen to be black.
Wait, nigga, no. The study, Miss Fantastic. Now I can't believe you just did that. The study,
Yes.
the study that you reviewed,
bro. The study says 50% of the women with herpes are represented by the black women. So yes,
50% of the 50% of the black women in the study. Come on, Miss Fantastic.
No way.
Come on, man.
This is why,
man.
Bro. This shit
Total
crazy.
representation. I thought because I did. No. Well, it's not just that study. So the study you may be talking about, Shad, is correct. I'm not going to refute that. But what I'm saying is, of the women, and when they do all of the broad numbers of women that have herpes, of the women that have herpes, black women represent 50% of those women. Or actually, I'm sorry, 49%, not 50.
I don't want to make the whole show. I don't want to make the whole show about.
Yeah, but let me just say this, right? So to my, I guess my pandering point or whatever, my alleged pandering. No, and I disagree with Brother Hamp. No, those things are just something this is not something that black men made up or black men start saying, and this isn't something that's exclusive to black people. Women control sex. Women have always controlled sex. Women have always controlled sex. Women choose who gets to procreate. Women choose the men whose bloodline and lineage gets to continue. Right? So that's not my opinion. That's not pandering. That's just laying out a sociologically accepted fact and a biologically accepted fact. And again, it follows over into the animal kingdom. I think people keep forgetting that humans are animals. Now, I'm not saying that we're the same as a fucking, as a fucking squirrel or a hamster or a fucking bird. No, but we are animals. And in the animal kingdom, a lot of traits cross over, right, or carry over. Most of the traits that women choose for mate selection are based upon the same animalistic things that women choose to, based on mate selection and procreation. So the difference, I think, what comes to be is black women are different because black women have to seem to have a archetypal choice selection more so than the physiological, which is a little abnormal. But outside of that, no, the pandering thing is telling black, not being able to be truthful to black women and tell them what they're choosing to do, or saying that it's the men's fault because the men have a biological imperative, which again is supported by science, and again is meant to be a fail-safe for the human race to continue. If the women decide to let that man procreate with her, right, by being irresponsible and not using 20 plus some odd versions of birth control, that woman made a conscious decision. It's not a mistake, especially if she has multiple baby fathers. So I don't think that's pandering, but a pander would tell me, oh no, it's the man's fault. And this is okay, yeah, I agree that the man played a part, but at the end of the day, especially here in America, the good old US of A man cannot have sex any way that a woman does not allow him to have. And if that woman says put a rubber on, okay, and he does not put on a rubber, okay, we know what that's called. It is a crime. Even if he takes the rubber off during sex, that is a crime. And in some states, I don't know if about all, but I know several states that is also a crime. Okay, so being that we understand with the penalty of and I'm not saying that this is the norm. I'm not saying that this is but the opportunity of something is the most preventative measure. Okay, the reason why motherfuckers don't get killed in the street is because people know they don't want to go to jail, they don't want to go to prison. Okay. So being that most men know, hey, if I do something that she does not like me to do or does not want me to do during sexual intercourse, there's a chance that I go to prison. That in itself is the thing that gives her the control mechanism, because she can use it if she wants to, if you do not follow her wishes during sexual intercourse.
I got a question. I want to go back to the definition because I want to set some parameters. By definition, what you gave was Mr. Fantastic. I think it was a pretty good comprehensive definition. Is it safe to say that there are a lot of men pandering to men in the manosphere?
That's a fair assessment. That's a fair assessment.
Why do you think? And I'm only asking you because I think you, as far as this particular part of the conversation, I think you got more knowledge than me. Why aren't you considered a pander? Why aren't a lot of the male content creators considered panderers? Why is the phrase only used when it's assumed, or even if it's concluded, that a man is pandering to women? Why don't you think the same criticism is offered to the myriad of male content creators?
Because for the most part, there's always pushback to the man. The man is told, hey, you can't be broke, you can't be fat, you can't be
wait, but Miss Fantastic, wait. I'm talking about the content creator. I'm not talking about the person that comes up as the contrarian. I'm saying the person with the microphone, finding the videos, creating the content. Why isn't he considered a panderer from most perspectives?
Yeah, because there's at some point in time there's balance. There's a pushback of his own audience. It's pushback, and I can speak for me specifically. I tell niggas, hey man, you can't be broke out here. You can't be fat. You know what I'm saying? If you ugly, you got to overcome that shit with something else. You got to have a personality. You got to have all these different things, so on and so forth. So again, it's not solely because you're just this great guy and the woman doesn't want you. The men always have to end up telling the truth. I think it's just something that's inherent of men, but it's something also as to where the men don't want to try and set most men up for failure. She's not just fucking with you, bro, because whatever. She could just be some asshole, and she's a 4 that thinks she's a 10, right, or 4 that thinks she's a 9, right? But if that's the case, leave her the fuck alone. It's your fault. I say specifically, hey, I said everything, and I put all the information out here. I have no sympathy for a man that gets married past 2026 shot. He ends up getting whatever he gets, he deserves. He put all of the information out here. So if your marriage fails and you get motherfucking sent through the ringer, wear it in health. You chose that. If you go out here raw dogging shot, okay, and you get a bitch ass horrible baby mama, you raw dogged her, brother. All right? That's your fault, brother. You made that conscious choice. Okay? That's the problem. You have to have balance over here, and the men have to tell the men the truth. The women never do that. I don't say never. Very, very few and far in between the women that do that. And now women are actually starting to agree with the men and sound like the men because it's profitable.
No, I was saying that maybe this is not really for Mr. Fantastic specifically, but I'm saying that the talking points pander to women. They give them the game tape on men. Men castrating themselves in real time. By literally admitting, yo, she can manipulate me with vagina because I have no control over my biological imperative. Do you understand what that does to the opposition? Son, I only got 2 bullets. Then they bang 3 niggas. And this the shit like like
That's a good analogy, nigga. I like that one.
Yeah, yo, it's like are y'all hearing this shit? They saying, yo, women are inherently evil, right? They don't love. They don't do all this negative shit. And then you tell them, hey now, but I can't control my dick. Hey now, you control access to everything. You control the dating market. You might as well say the black woman is God at the end of the sentence.
Right. Right.
Because people will use that information to their advantage. Yo, and that's the thing, right? You're talking about modern times, right? Mr. Fantac, let me ask you a question. Were women more over the course of time in, their existence, the spoils of war more than they had the freedom to choose?
Yeah, clearly, yes.
They went from the spoils of war to being a fucking kingpin.
Yeah.
Because we talking about sex. Were daughters married off by their husbands? I mean, by their fathers.
Fathers, yeah.
Men control this. Men control. I'm saying though, but when you were saying throughout time, men controlled this thing.
Yes.
No, but you were saying that just like the access to sex, you're talking about throughout time, right? Or maybe I heard.
Oh, no, throughout time, yes. If you're talking about, but we're talking currently, so I want to make sure I'm following.
No, I'm saying because you said throughout time. I understand. I'm just cataloging because we talking about.
So no, I stand corrected. You're correct. So we're talking about through the annals of time. Well, this is what I'm saying. So you have quote unquote alleged pre-civilization, right? And then you have civilization. So pre-civilization, women controlled it because the women said, hey, this is who we're going to go with and this is who we're going to deal with and so on and so forth, right? Then once you come into that, and even still with that, I'll have to think, right? But I guess most civilizations definitely had a patriarchal situation as to where the father chose, right? Who the daughter.
And people will come together when it made sense, right? You see, the higher ups and such. And then,
so you would be correct about historical context. Men had more control than the women, way longer than the women have had it.
Yeah, and that's all I'm saying. Like even when we use the animals, although I do hate it, because they wait for heat and things like that. But the lions don't work like that, right? When we use the lions. There's 2 lions. Whoever get his ass whooped is no longer fucking the hoes. And if the women,
he just don't get to fuck them hoes. You gotta go find some more hoes to fuck.
And he gotta fight somebody else. But the hoes don't be like, oh no, I don't like your main. Nah, if he win that fight, guess who fucking? So even though the lions don't even work like that, like now we fast forward. It's fantastic. Do you give somebody your game tape that is full of you doing bad? Do you give somebody your weaknesses unless you want to empower them? See, because people can frame parenting how they want, but I'm simply saying points that put a battery in women's back include women run relationships.
And my rebuttal for that, Hamp, would be the women know regardless because of their own game tape, their own real life experience. You said it, Hamp. You had women. Remember the country black looking girl that got up and said, "I got pussy." Yeah. You think a nigga had to tell her that, or she knew that from experience?
From niggas, though. You see, so she been able to manipulate enough niggas to get there. You saying that she lived that life?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She didn't have to come to the internet and hear that. Nigga, she actually had real life experience with, hey, I'm going to dangle some unattractive vagina and see how many niggas, bite, right? Oh, like you said, what your boy Fuego Ball said, what?
Oh, he was pro-life until his ugly bitch got pregnant.
You feel what I'm saying? So, and he knew the bitch was ugly before he hit her all, right? But he still did it. So the women know, the women understand, and they live it firsthand, the advantages of having a vagina in life. Whether we talk about it or not, it's not going to change for them. Especially, like you said, now that the dynamic has changed from the man having control to them having the control.
Okay, so you're saying the reason why it's not pandering is because our conversation is inconsequential?
Yeah, it don't matter.
I don't know, bro. Okay. Go ahead, Sean. I got to get the door.
And I think that's the point that I'm with Hemp on this. That's the point, right? So here's what I think. I think I have a slight derivative of what Hemp is saying, but I think it's the same thing. I think men are pandering to men. Y'all pandering to what y'all think are the weaker men. You're pandering to their emotion to to make them feel like they're the better, more, because y'all use words like benevolent. We're actually the better side of the coin. Men are better than women, but then the unintended consequence is, like Hemp is saying, the women in the corner going, but yeah, they want this pussy. So as long as they want this pussy, we got them. I don't care how much Miss Fantastic and these other men try to talk about how better they are, because we keep trying to appeal. It's not you, fellas. You're the nice ones in this equation. It's really the women. But what Hemp is saying is they listen to y'all say they control everything. So the women going, well, shit, we can either be better. We in America, right? Y'all love America. America's about what? Conquering and control. For all y'all, I love America people. This is what America's about. Taking everything. So they going, okay, since they the weaker ones, and this pussy will make them divide and decrease themselves to a mere morsel, we gonna keep playing the game because we got pussy. That's the unintended consequence of pandering to men. By telling them how bad women is, and by saying, shout out to CJ, we love them. We love them so much that we'll let them abuse us because we love them so much. Said no nigga ever in the real world.
Ugh, but you could tell by their actions that that's what it is. And let's be told.
Damn, 2K, you gotta say what up, nigga.
But hey,
God, Mr. Said, nigga, come on, man.
God,
come on, nigga.
Good morning, guys. Shit.
What up?
Yeah, bro. It's just a simple fact, bro, that yes, we do love women, right? We get it. But do you think that women would act like this if they didn't have a monopoly on coochie?
No, see, we agree. I'm not arguing that having a vagina does give you a certain power in the world. I'm not arguing that, but I'm saying as men, we're aware of the play. There should be some limitations that we as men, even if it means pulling back some to recalibrate, we're not willing to do that because of our biological imperative, according to Miss Fantastic.
Yeah, but okay. that's the science. That's literally what it is. You can't do it. Like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you can.
You can't. I'm telling again. This is what I'm saying, right? Of course, there is mental shit and whatever, and fortitude and resilience and self control and all this other shit, right? Do most people maintain those things, or most of those people or most people humans, period, are most humans capable of resisting a want that they want?
No, Miss Fantastic, I think you agree with me, bro. Let me clarify, because I think you agree with me, because I know you this type of man. You not letting no woman play with you because she giving you sex. We're not talking about. No. So that's the point I'm making. We're not talking about the pursuit of vagina because a nigga horny. They saying in relationships, the average man is getting ran through the mud because she has the vagina.
Yeah, because he can only get her. So the difference between me and whatever is that I have my option of however many women I want to fucking deal with. I'm not just limited to one woman. And women look at me and they can tell, they know, hey, if I don't get this nigga some pussy, there's another bitch out here waiting, there's some other bitches out here waiting, so I better get this nigga the pussy if I want to keep it. And I make it known, like, hey, baby, sex is important to me, so if you're going to be dealing with me, you know what I'm saying? This is what I require. You know what I'm saying? I'm up front. I'm let it be known up front. Like, that's me, right? If she don't want to deal with it, cool, fine, I'll move on to the next. But if she ever go that route, she already know what she's done. Most men can't make that ultimatum for a woman. Most niggas don't have that thing, and I'm not no super nigga like you, Shad. I'm not even no super nigga like you. You feel me? But that's what I'm saying. A woman knows. She knows off the gate, and Shad, I'm pretty sure you heard it. You got all the hoes. I can just tell. Yeah. I can just tell. All right, so baby, if you can tell, all right, we on the same thing. So when it comes to that pussy, baby, don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make you feel good. You know what I'm saying? You definitely gonna love it here. So let's not play games, because the instant you start playing games, I'm out and I'm on to the next. Well, I mean, I'm already, I'm already. That's the pander though. Anyway, but you feel me?
To me, that's the pander, because I'm saying as men, let's just say that is a reality for a group of men where they don't have options. I'm saying making them think it's okay to be doormats because we trying to pander to them when really we trying to kind of diss the women. I'm saying that's the pander that I think is men in trouble. Even the least of us should still have some fucking balls to be like, nah, I ain't going. If I got to sit out the game for a minute to figure it out, but I'm not going to be in my house being miserable just because she got vagina. And I'm saying we try to move around that. That's us pandering to the men, bro.
No, that's your height talking, right? You see, y'all niggas y'all can pop that shit because y'all over 6 feet, right? Y'all are a commodity. But the average nigga that's 5'7" can't pop it like that. It's gonna be a while before he find another chick that'll accept him for being 5'7". No. That's what Mr. Fantastic said. Like, They can't pop it like that, Sean. You can't. I can't put my feet down on every last thing I like because I'm 5'7".
But they can though.
They can't, because there's a dude that would accept a woman at every token of her life.
And
that's why we don't got to raise daughters no more.
I
We gonna
think-
accept her with bad behavior, good behavior, smart, dumb, fat, ugly, black, green, don't matter.
So who's accepting them if they're being accepted?
Us.
Who is us? The 6 foot niggas?
No, not the 6 foot niggas, the 5'7" niggas.
Yeah. So go ahead, Cheeky. My bad. You ain't saying that. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I'm trying to. Y'all are saying, because I think I'm following Rashad to a degree. Like, I agree, no man should ever accept no shit because of vagina. That's nuts. I can't even fathom that.
How tall are you, Cheeky?
5'8".
Cheeky's also a virgin though, so Cheeky don't. He's one of the strongest niggas alive.
Oh man, Cheeky a virgin. Get him off the pound of hell.
Cheeky's immune. So
Wait a minute, no, that's the way. Hold on, no, wait. If anybody should be on the panel, it's me, nigga. Ain't no vagina
nigga,
ever in the world. There's
niggas
nothing.
can't be like you.
You ain't never
nigga.
been. You ain't never had it, so you don't know what they gonna do to you. That's like you being the only soul.
1%.
A person that's never smoked crack can't tell a person that smoked how to say no crack.
You can't be at the AA meeting if
Aaron,
you ain't never been high.
Wait, what'd he say? I missed Aaron's spot.
About a crack analogy.
You can't
A
be
person
at
that's
the AA
never
meeting
smoked
if you ain't
crack
never been
can't
high.
tell a person how easy it is to. A person that has never smoked crack can't tell a person that has smoked crack it's easy to not smoke crack.
Yeah, but pussy ain't crack. Good thing, right?
Hey,
You missed
come across
it's
the
an
white
analogy.
one,
That's
boy.
why you. Hey, you got to recuse yourself from the panel, bro.
Hold on, wait. Why can't niggas just pull themselves up by the bootstrap? Goddamn.
Because you don't even know the fight we fighting.
Hold on, wait, no. Why niggas just can't make better decisions? If you choose to be bad or always giving to that, that's on you. That's you.
Fantastic. This is what I'm saying. This is the intentional attempt to raise blood pressure, right? When they go and use things that you typically say or do in a situation, right? Come on, man. Like, Cheeky, this is. You think Trigger Mike's question was stupid? That's a stupid question.
That wasn't
Good
a question.
afternoon to some of my favorite panderers.
No, you said why can't people pull themselves up out of? You ask questions. You just ask questions.
Oh well.
No,
Okay, that is no stupid question to go to you.